So now let us just go into the presentation. So today's agenda is what is entrepreneurship, the psychological hurdles, founder strength, and key takeaways. So let's immediately rush back. So what is entrepreneurship? See, the Quora and the Wikipedia says an entrepreneur is a person who converts an opportunity into a workable and marketable concept. So before that, I always remember Rajiv Menon's story of 3 ants. So there were 3 ants that one day decided to do something big. So one of the ant was saying that I want to be the most educated ant in the world. The second ant said I want to be the richest ant in the world. And the third ant was just gazing up and just loitering the time. The 2 ants turned to the third ant and said, what do you want to become? Don't you have an ideal? Don't you have a target? Don't you have something, a vision? So then the third ant said, yes, I want to fly like a butterfly. And that's the day when an entrepreneur is born, a startup is born. It's you make every challenge, every problem, you convert it into a challenge and you seek opportunities. That is the basic ideology of an entrepreneur. Now, so there are certain psychological factors that have been imbibed in our culture. One is the fear of failure. Fear of failure, when I say fear of failure, it is a social stigma. So most of the parents inquire between themselves, yes, what is your child doing? Where is he working? Where is he doing this? But a lot of people feel a little depressed to say that, yes, my son is an entrepreneur or my son is a startup. Those days are gone. Today it is a total different scenario where we have got a lot of people who have really made their niche on the entrepreneurship arena as startup founders who are recognized world across. Then the second thing, so fear of failure is never to be taken into consideration, because I firmly believe that a startup can never fail. Either they succeed or they learn. So this fear of failure is just a very false statement. There is no failure at all. Either you learn or you succeed. So next is the spotlight syndrome. Every person feels the whole world is looking at them. So be it gender biased, whether it is a male or a female, everybody feels that the whole world is looking at them, and they feel that if they don't perform, then it's going to be a big issue for them and for their family. But really, to tell you a matter of fact, the world is so busy with its own activity that they really have no time to think about you, think about anybody for that matter. So it is just a momentary phase. So this under the spotlight syndrome, I always think about Jim Thorpe, the athlete who won, I think, 3 to 4 gold medals during the 1912 Olympics. We recently concluded the Olympics, is it not? India got its gold after a very, very long time. Congratulations to the entire Indian team who was there, the entire Indian contingent that was there for the Olympics. Because everybody performed, of course, few of them won medals. Now let's talk about Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe is an athlete. So, you know, an athlete, an athletic shoes, very, very important, is it not? So during the day, just the night before, he was going to, the next day he was going for the big event. That was final, and he was to run through a big race. I think it was a 400-meter race in which there is no doubt that he's going to win it. But then unfortunately, while he was unboxing his luggage, he found that the shoe he wanted to wear on the final day was missing. So that's a big thing. Now the spotlight is on him. He needs to run. So how did he make it up? Is he went and searched the dustbin, and he saw that there were 2 shoes of different sizes which were nearly matching him. So he wore them and won the race. So imagine if you and I were in that situation, we would have taken that as an excuse to say that we will not be able to participate. Is it not? So this spotlight syndrome is there on everybody. It is just an inhibition that is there. If we could cross over this, then there is a lot of good things that are to come. There are a lot of success that's there. Then embrace the change. Very few examples, yeah, these are all very known examples. Nokia refused Android, Yahoo refused Google, and where were they? Where are they now? Flipkart joined Jabang and FB with WhatsApp. So where are they now? So if you are able to embrace the change, what happens is you elevate or you scale up to the next level. This in a very recent time, I could tell you one of the company in which I am a director right now called Speed Force Multi-Brand Two-Wheeler Service Stations Network. So during the first pandemic, 2020, we opened our 45th outlet in Hyderabad. And then the pandemic came, we opened it on March 19th, the faithful day, 22nd was Janta curfew, and 24th was total lockdown, country lockdown. So it was then we realized after that we didn't have 2-3 months, we didn't have much work to do. But you know, if we don't have work, the OPEX, the operational expense is not going to stay, it's going to be there. And that was our 45th branch in the entire country. So then we started reverse integrating. All the management, we sat together and we decided what has to be done. How do we go about this pandemic? How do we get back to our reins? Then we started going on virtual webinars. We conducted nearly around 200 and 250 webinars in the last 2 years. And you know, we had real tremendous response from webinars because all of them were at home. So there's no way for us to directly meet people or go on the roads because it was pandemic. And these 2 years, 2020 and 21, have seen real 300% growth in our company because we thought 2-3 things. One was we thought of bike sanitization. We were doing motorbikes service sector. So we thought bike sanitization. We went on webinars. We went for bike sanitization. We went for pickup and drop facility. These things have seen us grow 300%. Today, we have opened our 157th outlet in Ahmedabad. So, and with about 2 outlets abroad, one in Nepal, another coming up in Sri Lanka, Philippines, Bangladesh, and Vietnam. Another 5 outlets that are to come. So all these things happen because we realized we need to embrace the change. The atmosphere has changed. We kept our fears, our syndromes under control. We kept our psychological hurdles under control and we moved forward. This gave us this result. Why I'm telling you this is most of my talk on entrepreneurship will be filled with a lot of stories, lot of growth stories, lot of entrepreneurs, lot of founders who found their path and their way to glory. Because I am basically from the media and I've seen about 2,000 startups right in front of my eyes start, iterate, fail, succeed, and scale up. So it will be totally, it is totally my ball game, which I talk only about the startups and the story. So now, what is a startup? So startup is, yes, startup builds from scratch. Yes, there is 2 points here. You should build from scratch, and you should be able to understand the way to go 360 degrees in case you have to rebuild it from the scratch. So you must always be able to restructure yourself as per the market demands. So normally I suggest a lot of people ask me, sir, what is the way to start a startup? I say, see the problem statement. So where can we get this problem statement? Is there a book that talks about problem statement? I said, your everyday newspaper, now the stories that are going to follow this will tell you how people from different walks of life, from different places have got into the startup ecosystem and created a niche for themselves on the highway. So I tell them, see, your everyday newspaper is a book of problems. A lot of problems. Somewhere electricity is not there. Somewhere water is not there. Somewhere waste is not managed well. Somewhere something is expected not done. So all these things are problems. These are not problems. These are challenges. These challenges need solutions, and these solutions can be given only by innovative brains. So how do you go about? Okay, now you recognize a problem. You know how to go about it, because every problem has a built-in solution. 100% built-in solution. I want to go to Delhi. The solution is I need to reach Delhi, but I need to plan. Either I need to take a car, I need to take a bike, I need to take a flight, I need to take a car or a bus. So it all depends. The solution, the ways to reach solution, the ways to reach the end is what you need to design. So if you have got that in mind, then now is the time for you to follow the 3E principle, which I always talk to my students. The first one is explore. Your idea is unique, of course, for you it is definitely unique, but just try to understand how unique it is, because you need to understand, is there somebody else acting on the same idea, or is your idea a value addition to somebody else's idea? So better you discuss about your ideas. Most of the founders are so apprehensive, they're so possessive about their ideas that they don't want to talk about it. They say, if we talk about it, then the idea will see. Idea is not great if it is not followed by a greater execution. So you need to explore your idea. Explore it 360 degrees. Try to talk to a lot of people. What is the problem? The problem, yes. How people are expecting? What sort of solution these people are expecting? How could you make that solution most economical and most followable usable by the market? So all these things need for you to discuss and talk to mentors, talk to your people, talk to the market, talk to different people, understand different. See, suppose a 100 rupee item could be cheap for a guy who's living in a building, but the same 100 rupees must be very costly for a guy who's living down the lane. So these things we need to match, because if we need huge consumer base, then we need to match the idea, match the service to the demand of everybody. Maybe we could say if we could give it at 50 rupees with a lesser features, but then we need to explore. And how will we be able to do it? We need to explore it. So then after exploring, after doing the black and white, before you do your POC or market validation, anything, just explore your idea, how fast it can reach people, how people will be able to receive it. And then empower your idea. How do you empower your idea? Yeah, so you empower your idea by means of making a company or doing a POC, trying to get the right team in board, trying to date co-founders, trying to understand what is their intention, what is their ideology. So you might be a techie or you might be a marketing person, but you need a techie behind or a marketing person, vice versa. So you need to understand what type of people will be with you, what type of people are looking at the product, what type of people are amiable in the team. So empower the entire idea in different formats, and then you try to develop the enterprise. So enterprise is the last on the agenda. Enterprise is where you understood the idea, the market, the potential of the market, you calibrated what the market needs, you have empowered the idea with the various objectives, the necessary points, various value add-ons, so that it is a finished product to reach the market. And then is the enterprise solution, because the enterprise is a place where you start investing major chunk of your amount into infrastructure, or rather into company registrations, IPs, and all these things. This enterprise has to have the foundation of empowerment and exploration, because these two becomes a solid foundation for the enterprise to grow to the next level. So you all want to go to the next level, is it not? So now let's So now what are the positive strides that you need to have? Yes, you need to get out of your comfort zone. The most important thing is get out of your comfort zone. The moment you are out of your comfort zone, in the sense, suppose you feel, yeah, these people will buy. See, you make a product, your friends will buy. You make a product, your parents will buy. Your next house will buy. But why should a third person buy it? So you need to have a very strong USP, the unique selling proposition, which should talk about your product. So you need to, for that, you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to do the market validation. You need to understand what product you have got. Is it matching with the market or not? So this was one thing. This is one startup known as the Blind Eye, All Innovations Private Limited. All Innovations Private Limited by Teja Rani, the girl, and Ravi Kiran. These two people are also mentored by me. I'm one of their, you can check their allinnovations.com also, you can find my name. So we Initially, these people, they are basically they started out when they were in 10th standard. Mind you, in 10th standard. So they are basically from Navodaya Vidyalaya and they were in 10th standard. They have developed, and I'll tell you, most of the people say that I have not faced any problem. Yes, you need not face any problem, but try to understand the problem. These people were never blind, or neither of their families, anybody, but they understood the pain. How dreadful, do you know really how dreadful blindness is? It is really a pathetic situation, is it not? We all know. So all of us have been sympathizing blind people, feeling bad for them, trying to understand. But how far have we worked out a solution for them? How far have we thought about how to take things forward for them? These young students from Navodaya Vidyalaya, Adilabad, Telangana have started this blind eye project. It is a tech glasses designed for the blind. The visually impaired can read. Imagine the blind people can read wearing these glasses. They can walk in a crowded area. They can recognize the person who is coming on the opposite side, and within a few meters, say around 1 meter or 1.5 meters, they can recognize anything that is there that is an obstacle for them. So they can do away with their walking sticks, and they can do away with the accomplice, who could guide them. Instead, they can wear these glasses which are filled with artificial intelligence and IoT devices, which tell them they are all pre-fed memory. Suppose if somebody is walking, say your professor is coming in front of you, and it's a blind man, he can never address a professor, but his glasses will tell him, Professor so and so is coming in front of you. Yes, so automatically you say, hi professor, how are you? What a pleasant surprise will a person get when a blind man addresses you just within 1 meter reach. And what is the satisfaction level of the blind man? Just imagine. So he can walk a crowded area, and the most important is, a blind man can read a newspaper. Is it possible? Yes, Ravi Kiran and Teja Rani have done it. They're really big kudos for them. Big round of applause has to be given to them, because these people have really done the impossible possible. Because the blind man can read. How he is able to read? Because of artificial intelligence and IoT. When the blind man has to look at the paper and scroll the paper with his glasses, automatically the glasses will have a speaker which tells the blind man what is written there. So see how much these people received the youngest innovate award at iTech's Telangana 19. That's a big thing. They were selected for incubation. In fact, recently they have been selected by Parul University Incubation Center at Gujarat. And they'll be going down to Gujarat in the next week, 10 days, because they need to structure a lot of activity they want to give 10 glasses free of cost to the blind. Imagine young students, if with what little knowledge they have, they could do it. You technocrats who have got 360 degrees exposure from professors of all domains at your beck and call, and in a conducive atmosphere, what miracles you can do. So you understand how innovation can take an upper swing with just your inclination to do something different. Okay, so as I said, problems are opportunity in disguise. So problems are really opportunities in disguise. Problems are challenges, challenges are opportunities, and every opportunity needs a solution. So that's where a startup founder needs to align their mentality towards problems, understand the problems, make a 360 degrees understanding the problem, make it, in a sense, you need to understand how to go for the problem. So let's now talk about Nitin, Shreya and Amit, the people from Gurgaon. These three people, the other three co-founders have started a customized B2B business contact data called Easy Leads. So how is it possible? Normally, a lot of people say, sir, we got a wonderful product. Most of the techies, they say, we got a wonderful product. How do we market it? Marketing is a big problem. I always tell them, take an amiable marketing guy into your team. You need a marketing guy, because see, however better the best the product is, if there are no users, then it means the product has not reached the correct public. We need a sizable chunk of users to use it, because you created an innovative product and it needs to happen. So how do you get the leads? So digital marketing is one basic thing that you get the leads. One is, that is the virtual part of it. Then you have the real part. You try to take the directories. You try to meet a lot of people and do it. And of course, harnessing social media makes a difference. Now, these people have developed Mr. E. Mr. E is an artificial intelligence prone extension, Chrome extension. You know what it does? You need to install it in your Chrome and you need to move through the LinkedIn pages, and any contact you click, you get the entire business data. And you know, LinkedIn has got a chunk of high level CEOs, second level people, decision makers, everybody. So you can get their mail ID, you can get their phone number, you can get their details. All these things are possible through Mystery Chrome extension. So this they have, you know, over just within a matter of a couple of years, or about, I think it's around 18 months or something, these people have reached a stage where they are doing what 30,000 plus sales marketing people are using them in India and global. So this is a Make in India initiative, which we need to be proud of, to say, to get the right people at the right place for the right thing is very, very important. So these things, why I've been telling you is, as I told you always, you need to embrace the change. Embrace the change to such an extent that you reach the people that much as you want. And the abundant why are foreign companies flocking towards India? Why are they flocking? Because we are a big consumer market, a big consumer market. If at all a product is being circulated in India, it finds its place in Indian culture, then yes, I mean it's in culture. If it finds a place in Indian culture, automatically the growth is phenomenal. This is basically the mindset of the marketers who are coming over from overseas. So this, and that is the reason Mr. E Chrome extension has a wonderful, in fact, a tremendous necessity for startups. You start installing it and try to get the best leads across the country. So this is a very, very interesting tale of Mr. Ashok Patel, who's an octogenarian. You know what does an octogenarian means? He's about 80 years old. 80 years old gentleman, and but very young at heart. A flourishing interior architect, interior designer come architect from US. So he came back here. He came back here and he wanted to do something in the Indian startup ecosystem. He said, yes, there's a lot of things that that can be done here. In fact, I met him. I had a very good long conversation with Mr. Ashok Patel. Mr. Ashok Patel, initially he designed a cow generator. You know, he designed a cow generator. You know how it was? It's quite interesting. This gentleman, I have met him. I mean, I've spoken with him quite a several time, and every time I talk to him, I get a new idea. So Patelji is Mr. Ashok Patelji is basically very innovative and very young at heart. So initially, when he came down here, he wanted to do something for his samaj, for his culture, for his society. So he came back to his hometown. He left all the riches in US, a flourishing career, a wonderful bungalow, everything. He came down here, he settled. So initially he took up a project of, he was looking at the newspapers and found that cow slaughter is happening. Because after the milking time is gone, the cow becomes a burden to the farmer. And once he becomes like he becomes tired and he doesn't give milk and all. The fodder, the grass that has been given, the feeding becomes a waste for the farmer. So initially, Ashok Patelji felt basically he's from a community where he feels, where all of us, they revere cow as a god, and slaughtering cow for edible purposes or for anything, for leather, is against their principles. So what he decided was he would try to take the cows from the farmer. He told the farmers, listen, I will feed them, I will take them, and if the project develops, then I will give you the residue income that comes on it. So he said he took about a small place and he created a fulcrum. You know fulcrum, two hands that are being two hands of wood that are being stuck, riveted in the center, and they rotate. You have seen the old oil mills, compressed oils, It's similar like to that. So four cows are on the four sides of the fulcrum and they start pushing the fulcrum. And as they push, the grass is being fed. This fulcrum is being connected to a dynamo which produces electricity that is being stored in the batteries, and the electricity is then transmitted back to the village. So there, the village which did not have power gets power. Water is there everywhere. Water surplus water is there because of motors running. The cows that were to go to the slaughterhouses were there, were doing their work to generate electricity. So every shift there were 6 cows that were needed. 4 cows on the fulcrums, 2 cows as option. These 6 cows had 3 phases, 3 shifts, just like any of us, 3 shifts. So almost 6 threes is 18 cows were employed at each power production center. And the excess power apart from the village that was sold to the government, there was residue income. The income was shared between the farmers. The farmers were happy. The cows were saved. See, this old man had this sort of an attitude that he had, from there he started. Then he wanted to go on a bigger level. Now you understand. See, now we are talking about immunity boosters. We are talking about pesticides, organic foods, all this after the COVID had come. But this gentleman in 2019 itself, he designed a container, you know, these containers, these thrown away containers from shipping and all. Those containers he had designed an hydroponic way of growth. So there what happens, hydroponic growth is you can grow plants, and by very minimum usage of pesticide, fertilizer, very minimum, which will not even go inside, because the plant does not grow on soil, but it grows in water, and the water is circulated. So this he made it, and you know, he grew leafy vegetables, he grew juicy fruits, lot of things he had done. The model had become so successful, and this started emitting oxygen. It also started, this container also started emitting oxygen, because you know, during the day, the photos, during photosynthesis, the plants absorb oxygen and the carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So this was one basic thing which we had done, which where the oxygen shortage we are talking in COVID, but earlier itself he had manufactured, he had designed a box which would grow vegetables and release oxygen. So the oxygen was also collected. Now this is man from at 80 years from US, after a flourishing career. He is just like you and me, or rather more like you. He was so innovative, so outspoken, and he wanted to do things different. And you know, he asked the government, Gujarat government, for a 3-acre land which was near the cemetery. So I was really astonished, and I told Ashok ji, what is this? What are you talking? What do you mean by having a land near the cemetery? He said, Raj sir, I want to build a 4-floor building of hydroponics only. Oh, that's good. But why near the cemetery? He said, sir, when the body or the dead body is being burnt, there's a lot of gases like carbon monoxide, all these things are released. These gases can be utilized, and they could make the plants survive, and these plants will emit oxygen. So taking the poison, they give out the best. So this we will have a hydroponic place with an oxygen plants attached to it. So there's a multiple uses. See, this gentleman, he never wanted to waste even a single thing to do it. So this was, he thought different, and he thought development. So this think development is the third strength that is required by any founder. So I think this Pragati Engineering College has got a lot of ladies also in it. So they should not feel that I am more gender biased and I talk only about the male innovators. No, it's not like that, ma'am. I really respect a lot to the ladies, because one basic thing which I would like always to tell, that the startup ecosystem is not gender biased. Only the thing, we need the wow factor. If the wow factor is there, then automatically any startup is definitely going to flourish. So if it is you also, it's fine. Now let me talk. So let me talk about Manasmita. Basically, she's from Bangalore. This lady is a software employee, 9 to 5 techie, and she used to go around, go around, and come back. So one fine day she decided she was frustrated with what's happening. It's a 9 to 5 job, get up in the morning, cook for the family, go to this software, do your duty, come back late, and still stuck with the solution, because software job is one job that you cannot say you work 9 to 5. It is almost 247. Even you come home, you carry those files in your mental hard disk. Is it not? So, and you think of solutions. So she decided, no, there is a limit, and this is the limit. So that day she stopped, and she said she lives in an apartment where about 25 to 30 flats are there. So in Bangalore. So she decided, like, now I'm going to start something. What do I know? She started reverse engineering about herself. What do I know? How do I go about? So then they said, yes, there are a lot of things I know. I know dancing, I know cooking. Cooking, yes. What is the biggest problem? Normally, evening cooking is the biggest problem in most of the cases. Yes. So suppose she had developed, she said she can do rotis and some sabji. So roti and sabji. I mean, in the sense, roti and a curry, and chapatis and curry. So pulkas. So you know what her company's name is? Her company's name is Fresh Pulkas Private Limited. Yeah. So Fresh Pulkas Private Limited by Manasmita, she started. The first day when she made, she sent a WhatsApp to the entire 30 citizens. They have a internal WhatsApp group. So she sent to them and said, listen, gentlemen, I'm making pulkas. So if anybody wants, this is the charge. Please do tell me. I'll deliver it to you. And the first day she got 9 pulkas, just 9 pulkas. And she continued. But does that mean that she's at loss? No, it is not. Because she had an idea, and she had an idea how to go through. And 9 became 19, 19 became 90, and 90 became 9,000. Today, she does per time around 15,000 pulkas, and she operates at almost 4 to 5 places in Bangalore with a cloud kitchen. And recently she got a funding of about 5 crores, and she's planning, and you know who has gone into the board? You know, ID Barter, Idli Barter. Those people, Mr. Mustafa was one of the chief first investor there, and a lot of people, other people have joined, and they are now taking this Fresh Pulkas. Today, Fresh Pulkas is not one roti company, but it has got around nearly 24 varieties of rotis and around 7 to 8 varieties of curries. And Zomato, Swiggy, direct delivery, pick up and drop, pickup facility, everything. Today they do around nothing less than about 20,000 pulkas or rotis around sale every noon. And it's become a big craze. Fresh pulka has become a big craze. So just imagine, had she thought I'll stick to my 9 to 5 job, or she finishes and comes back and she thinks, okay, now it's time, instead of working, let me just relax. Or what can a roti do? Today, the roti not only gives her roti, but gives roti to many others in her factory, because there are nearly 100 plus women working in her place. And she has been very, very stern in having women, because she said women empowerment is more important in this country, because women have been multitasking since ages, but they have never been in their right place. Their recognition was very low. Among 1 crore women, maybe one Sarojini Naidu, one Indira Gandhi, or anybody, just one person has been recognized. So she says women empowerment is more important. So almost all her establishments have women empowerment. So now I think I've just covered the brief layout of how an entrepreneur must not be, what inhibitions they need to shed, what way they should take things forward, how to take things forward, and how to make a plan and execute this journey. So this is just a tip of an iceberg. Yes, when I say an iceberg is a mountain of ice. So this is just a tip of an iceberg. But if you are attached with Visionary, they have a platform called Vision Talks. They have a platform called School of Entrepreneurship, and I'm one of their chief mentor. In fact, I'm the only chief mentor out there. So it's a motivational initiative providing equal opportunity for all. The School of Entrepreneurship has a variety of courses. I mean, in the sense, it has an end-to-end program on how to start, how to ideate, how to do your POC, how to do your market validation, how to make it, scale it up, how to get funding, what is a pitch, how to write your pitch, how to make your pitch more presentable, how to get investors on board, what is the sort of how to create MRP of a product. When you get investors, how to share the equity, how to give them the exit options. This is a lot of things. Many startups feel, yeah, why should I go for a mentor, or why should I have somebody talking to me? Yes, you need a mentor. You need a person to always tell you that what you do is wrong. Yes, to tell you a matter of fact, a third eye investigation into an idea will let you scale up to a wonderful level and to reach the peaks which maybe not many people have scaled up. Okay, an ordinary business can transform into a startup and an entrepreneurship. So this journey, like imagine 10 years back, don't you think we had travels, we had cars? Yes, they were there. Then the cars and travels, there was a travel agent. We used to call the travel. Your father or your grandfather would have called the travel, booked the car would come, pick you up and go. Prices were enormous, but we were doing, and very few people were using cars. Mind you, very few people were using the travels. Then Meru came. What Meru did, Meru said there are a lot of drivers, lot of people who can drive, but they don't have a car. So they are going as acting drivers. They are going in the travel industry. So they bought the cars. They redefined the travel industry by owning the cars, and employing the drivers. From there, Ola arrived. Ola, what did they do? They became an aggregator platform. You have a car, you are a driver, you can log into my platform, I will get you business, and you start moving. They started having verified drivers, verified cabs, even verified customers. In fact, when you get on a Ola car, the cab driver will say, sir, please rating, sir. So it's see how pleasantable they are, what competition it has become. Earlier, if you had to travel from, say, in Kakinada from the station to Sarpavaram Junction, would have cost you around 300 rupees or 400 rupees. But today, you book an Ola, it is just 120, 140, peak hour is 175. See how different things have happened. So the journey from a business, an entrepreneur to startup, to escalation to the highest core today, it's in fact the Ola is one of the unicorns. To rise to that stage, you need guidance, just like you need guidance in physics, chemistry, thermal engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. You need guidance in entrepreneurship. Today, many people are not concentrating on this part only because of the reason entrepreneurship, being an entrepreneur does not give you academic marks or attendance. Forget, get out of that, show to the world that you can do something and reach that level where people will talk about you. They'll say, you are Ritesh Agarwal, you are K.R. Narayanmurthy, you are Bill Gates, because you have created an empire, a solution which none other has done before. So this is, how do you go about it, is basically under the guidance of abled visionaries like Visionaire, because Visionaire has got around 2,000 mentors, 2,000 speakers like me, with their own expertise, with their own domain expertise, which they will be presenting it to you in a course format, and from there you can take it over and reach the way you want. So, as I always tell you, I also told you before also, there is no failure in the startup ecosystem. Remember, success is not permanent and failure is not final. Wishing you all a successful startup year 2021. This is Raj Kishan from Way to World. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So I'm open to questions. Anybody have any questions? You can come back to me, or you can take the mail ID from our people at your college. And it's so nice meeting you on this World Entrepreneurship Day. Thanks a lot. So over to you, host, please.
If any one of you are having any queries regarding this webinar, you can feel free to ask and clarify your doubts. Or you can contact through chat box.
Okay, no more. Okay,
Please respond if anyone are having any queries.
Right, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is really appreciable. The delivery is really good. Okay, Bonita, and the program.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas and views with us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Getting feedback form, Bonita, announce the feedback form.
Sir?
Feedback form. All the participants.
Bonita, continue.
Dear participants, feedback link is posted in the chat box. Please fill it. Please fill the feedback link. It is posted in the chat box.
Thank you, sir. Subodh Panda, sir. Thank you, sir. Subodh Panda, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Subodh Panda, sir.
Thank you, my team. Thank you, Bonita. Okay, bye all.
It's a matter of pride for me that I'm proposing a vote of thanks for this meeting. I, on behalf of my entire community, spread my most sincere thanks to the Raj Kishan sir, who gave his vital time to grace this meeting. I mention my sincere sense of gratitude to our higher authorities for introducing these appreciating ideas. I would like to place my hearty thanks to all of my teachers for their cooperation in the webinar. I also want to thank all the volunteers and the participants because of whom we made this possible. Thank you once again. Dear participants, for the memory of the event purpose, once switch on your cameras, we will take the snapshot.
Very good.
Please switch on your cameras. Please switch on your cameras.
Good.
Subodh sir, is it okay?
Okay. Yes, I'm okay.
Yeah, everything is okay? Okay, bye
Yes,
all.
sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, bye all. Thank you, Bonita. Good. Nice job.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you for joining the program.
Thank you, everyone. Humbly thank all the volunteers and participants who participated in this. We are fortunate to thank the dedicated and well-motivated team of your college, that is Pragati Engineering College, who are aware of the tasks. Thank you again, Mr. Raj Kishan sir, for answering those questions and for the great presentation. It was a pleasure to have you with us, sir.
Okay, dear participants, please fill the feedback link which is available in chat box.
Thank you once again and hope you all to participate in many more like this. So this concludes the webinar. Thank you for attending. We hope you have learned and enjoyed this presentation.
Thank you, Anita.
Yes, sir. It's my pleasure, sir.
Okay, good.